Hey everyone, Clip Belair from Olympia SEO here. I'd like to welcome you to probably our first official webinar. And what we're going to talk about today, and what all of you are pretty interested about, is YouTube and how they smash the hell out of a lot of people using automation, specifically with YouTube Live. So with me today is Andy Dorbs. Andy, say hi.
Hey, how we doing, guys?
And then we also have Holly Starks, our great YouTube expert on all things automation. Say hi, Holly.
Hey, what's up? Hey,
Holly's
yo.
very, yeah. Holly's got a cold, so she sounds cranky today. That's why we give her an excuse. She's got a cold and we
Well,
drag her
Holly is crying.
out. So, Annie, go ahead. Tell everyone a little about yourself, where you're from. Just kind of give a little insight so that everyone knows why they should be listening to us.
Yeah, sure. So, I'm Andy from vFunnels Network. I'm over in the UK. At the moment, it's blasting it down with rain, and it has been for about 20 days. But I do a lot of video marketing, a lot of pay-per-call, a lot of sort of lead generation with video, and I also do a bit of teaching as well.
Awesome, awesome. And Holly, I'm sure you have a nice, cool bio for us.
So I've been doing YouTube videos since 2013. I left for a year in 2015. It was doing mass pages, just I needed a bit of a change, kind of felt burnt out. Came back around January 1st. Um, I had, notice I said had, a million. It was over 1.5 million videos. I was on track to do probably 3.5 million by the end of next year with maybe 250,000 YouTube accounts. And then I don't even know what day it was. It was last week sometime where I woke up and I was like, oh, like no calls. It was a very bad day. But that's the short end of me.
Wow,
Yeah, I think I'd go back to
wow.
bed.
How many videos? Wow, amazing.
Yeah, a lot of videos.
So, folks,
So,
I have that poll open. If you guys can reply to that real quick, just do you automate YouTube Live, just so we get to a little focus on how many people this really applies to. So, Andy, did you lose any channels as a result of this?
yeah, I lost two. I mean, it's not so bad. But yeah, one was a client channel, and another one was an old affiliate channel really I had, and yeah, both got terminated in one day. No reasons, just gone.
And
So
then I heard in your group you had a lot of other people that are in your group or in the groups that you move around in lost some channels as well.
yeah, sure. It seems to be the main thing. A lot of people are saying is a lot of the channels again, no reason, just terminated. And there's a few polls about that. The why has it happened, and just some feedback of people really, just to see, is there a pattern there? There was a video marketing group as well that had a poll running just to see if there's some sort of pattern that, if it's down to a certain thing. I found a few things out, and I followed some of the polls as well, and there does seem to be a little bit of a pattern with things.
Okay. Yeah, and I found a couple of things myself, just that stood out, big glaring signs to me that this was actually coming in advance. And the
Yes.
number one thing that I think Google did for us is clearly they gave us a warning and they said if you want to use YouTube Live, attach your AdSense account to it. And I knew as soon as they were doing that, they're getting ready to smash some people, because will they'll track you down with that AdSense account. There's not a lot of people like Holly. Obviously, she probably did not do this, but there's a lot of people that are pretty lazy and that will attach the same AdSense account to multiple channels.
Yeah.
I'm sure Holly did not do that. However, at some point, I'm sure a lot of people that lost their channels did, and it was right along in line with their quality, in my opinion, of YouTube and their push to increase the advertising spend
Yeah.
in YouTube ads kind of resulted in what you're seeing now is this great big purge.
For
What are
sure.
some of the things that you saw?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot. Sorry, Holly, go on.
I was just going to say that I didn't connect any of my AdSense accounts. So, you know, if you were at the recent Rockstars, you know that I do one AdSense, one, Amazon one, blah, 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 per niche. So not only did I lose over 150,000 YouTube accounts, I lost the AdSense accounts that were connected to them. I did lose the Amazon accounts. However, I can't log into the Gmails to track the reports where I would always do.
Yeah.
And the EIN numbers are probably screwed up now too. So it really honestly took me out probably more than anyone else. And I think it was more directed at someone who's doing obviously live streaming in the thousands.
Yeah.
I mean, I have my own opinions of what it is. I want to hear what your guys' opinions are before I would say,
Sure.
it's this, and this.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'll just chip in on that. Basically, what I found across the channels was a few things really. I mean, there's a lot of the live streaming strategy, and there's a lot of software, that you can use out there. Not to name them, but you can PVA channels. You can spam many videos across multiple channels pretty quickly. But a lot of those tools I find are best to use for for sort of syndication with social signals, if it's to back to a website, but to actually use as a full out all out video strategy, it's at one point it's going to be flagged. That just what I've tested in the past, and I've had channels sort of flagged from it. But yeah, the two channels that went down for me both had live videos on there, but the other channels that I've mixed up with a lot of uploaded videos also, and a lot of how-to videos. So even if it's services, just sort of putting a mix of videos on there that's showing how to, so it's more information than actual just trying to rank for that keyword in that niche.
Right. Now, when you were uploading, or the people that you were talking to, were they uploading like the same video with that spun file format, or were they
Yeah,
uploading original videos?
yeah, it seems to be like duped videos, and not changing the buffers out. So it seems to be a bit of a footprint pattern with the same time signatures of videos, even if they're short, from like 1 minute, 2 minute videos, if they're advert type videos. And again, with the live streaming, a lot of seems to be a pattern with streaming live, but not making that varied with uploads as well.
Mm.
Now, whether
Curious if, like,
that's
also if it was like they could see you loaded up, went live one after the other in short succession in less than 5 minute videos. Uh,
sure.
Maybe the same channel. I'm not sure a lot of people can scale the way Hollywood and be able to see that
Yeah.
specifically. Did any of
Again,
your
with
folks notice that?
sorry, Clinton.
Go ahead. We lose it?
Sorry, hello, are you there?
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I thought Holly chipped in there. I didn't. I thought it came through. Holly said something.
No, I didn't say anything. I was on mute. I'm just listening to you guys.
Sorry. Yeah, again with the linking, some of the IFTTT channels that were linked to those YouTube channels. One was a few years old. Some of the links, after testing with everything that's gone on over the past sort of week, testing some of those links back. If those IFTTT recipes have been set up just to trigger from uploading a YouTube video to then just syndicate across, just a ping and embed across that network, but actually not managing those social accounts, and actually putting content, as it would be a real person to like, share, comment, and if they're just used for, video, when you upload a YouTube video, they just go across that network. And if you get any accounts suspended, like Twitter or Facebook, if those accounts get suspended, then it's pretty much likely that your YouTube account's going to get suspended too.
Really? There's a lot of people you talk to have that issue? Because I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, well, I'm only going off the channels. What it's happened to me was both. I had 2 suspended Twitter accounts and 2 suspended Facebook accounts. So it's just a finding that I had on the channels that were terminated from my end.
Right.
So whether that's anything to sort of do with it, it's happened on those 2 channels.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I can concur the Twitter thing too, because I would make embeds on my Twitter, so I would connect, like, again, one niche goes with a whole network. So I lost my pin interest pages, and my Twitter pages. I didn't have any IF network set up, but I always did embeds on those too, and it was like it was like they hit a button and destroyed millions of properties for me.
Yeah, same with me then. So yeah, exactly the same with me, because I checked on those 2 channels the actual Gmail account, and 24 hours before, well, 48 hours actually before the YouTube channel went, was both Facebook accounts got suspended, and then 24 hours after that was Twitter, and then funnily enough the YouTube accounts got suspended, because the recipe in IFTTT gives you a notification just to say your Twitter account's been suspended or it's inactive. So they went inactive before the YouTube channel closed. Whether that's a pattern, just seems.
Well, it could be, because Twitter's a data hub partner, correct? I'm pretty sure Pinterest is a Google social data hub partner. I thought they closed that program down. Kyle's in the audience. He probably knows more than I do, but I thought they had closed it down. But then again, they said they do a lot of things, and maybe they didn't. So maybe they're tying those in together now to see. I guess you can do it algorithmically. If you post 10 videos that are 5 minutes or less in short succession, and then all of a sudden these other data hub partners are telling us, hey, all those videos were syndicated.
Yeah.
Algorithmically, I'm assuming that you probably could put 2 and 2 together, and then in turn notify the data hub partners that we're going to close down this account because we think it's a spammer. And go ahead and do the same thing, whether they follow suit or not. It kind of makes sense that they would do something like that.
Yeah, for sure. It just seemed, it's just another finding that went on my tick sheet to say, has this happened to anybody else? Because it's just a bit strange that my other accounts are perfectly fine, that we actually do a lot of maintenance to those, 2.0s and what have you. But just these 2 channels got slammed, and they had suspended links within a 48-hour period before the channel.
Right. Interesting. And have you shown anything else you guys seen by any chance? I'll add on what you think about it is my channels. I did one channel where I had 75 videos. They were all the exact same videos. The only thing I changed was the title and the descriptions. And I siloed them together. And my channel and the videos are still there. They're still indexed. And then I have some other channels where I just went all crazy black cat spammy, and I lost those. But I didn't do the due diligence of fleshing out the descriptions or the siloing or any of that madness. I just put them up and put a link on them. So,
sure.
So I was doing the link wheeling, the last URL, the first URL. I mean, you guys know the program I use, so it all does it for you. The same description. I never spin it. I haven't spun it in 4 years. I'm still not going to spin it. I don't think that's what caught me. I was live streaming across a couple hundred servers. However, that wasn't set up until the last couple months. Before, I was just doing, I was spamming. Don't get me wrong. We're spamming, so we got caught spamming. But I wasn't as aggressive as I have been over the last couple of months. So, I lost stuff okay, so we're in 2016. I lost stuff that was in 2014, 2015, and 2016. They destroyed everything that I had up. They destroyed Hangouts, they destroyed regular uploads, they destroyed how-to videos, they destroyed unboxing videos, they took out affiliate networks, they took out my Christmas networks, my Black Friday net. I mean, I could go on and on what they took out. But I had videos for that were 30 seconds to, probably about 18 minutes. My live streams were anywhere from 30 seconds to 5 minutes. I was live streaming every 1 to 5 minutes. However, even if I was doing every 5 to 10 minutes, in reality, no one streams videos every 5 to 10 minutes. Doesn't matter. Nobody does it. There's no reason why, unless you're a gamer, And then you would have so many views, it would be a legitimate channel. But my channels were pretty, I had this program log in and do comments and liking and actually use the Gmail, use the maps, use things so that the actual Gmail accounts looked legit, and that still did not save me. And I just uploaded, like, not even live stream. I did regular uploads on, I think on Thursday, I did 500 videos. It was indexed for 3 days. And on Sunday, I did a check and everything was de-indexed. That wasn't live streaming. That was regular uploads. So it's not just doing live streaming. It's doing the regular uploads too.
Wow, wow.
Now, were those going just in Google, or are they going in Google and YouTube?
So the account is still live, but there's no video in Google or in YouTube. And I can actually re-index it because I tested. I re-indexed 10 of them yesterday. It's still indexed today, but I expect it to go de-indexed in 3 days because that is a pattern of it. It looks like it's fine, and then within 3 days it's gone. But I'm not losing my channel now. It's just, it's not there anymore.
Right.
Because the way they were terminating the channels was just, well, it was just terminated. That's it. There's no, flag, no suspension, no reason. It's just right, terminated.
Right, and like they're not saying I'm spamming. I tested, on a couple different channels, and I just put like 5 videos here. I put 500 here. I put 100 here. I uploaded them over a 2-day span. Like the ones that should have been staying is the 5 videos, and those were de-indexed within 24 hours. So,
Wow.
and actually, I'm hearing this in many different groups that they're showing indexed, and within 24 hours they get de-indexed. So they're coming very aggressively. I don't think I've ever seen them this aggressive as before.
No.
Yeah, I was with you during the Hangout purge, and I don't remember it being this bad or this fast.
Yeah, and this much across the board. Like I was when I originally was looking last week, I was like, oh, it's attacking live streams. So then I put a message out and said, did anyone who was doing straight uploads get attacked? And everyone was like, no, because we're doing live streams. So I was like, well, shit, I'm going to test it. Maybe they're not, like, watching regular uploads. Yeah, that theory went right out the window. That's not even true.
Yeah. That's the problem, isn't it? It's not that pattern. There's a few areas from you, Holly, from myself, from Clint, that it's not an actual tick the box, do this. It's a bit of testing, and it's early days, I suppose, to see how far they're going to go with some of the changes. So,
And I know the answer. I know Holly's answer to this question. Andy, do you know? Are you or were the people that you saw lost channels? Were they using proxies or not?
I think in the poll there was a few using and a few not. Yeah, majority I think was not using the people I spoke to. So obviously that footprint being there, whether using VPN or proxy.
So the majority were not using proxy.
Not using, yeah.
Okay.
The ones I spoke to anyway.
And I already know Holly. She doesn't use proxies either, but when you can manage that many accounts, then you are the queen. So.
Yeah.
Well, I think proxies are a reason you get banned. because they can see that you're coming in on a proxy now. You know,
Right.
it's not. It's really sad what it actually has turned into, because it's not. It's kind of like you know, like this whole week I'm always like, it's almost like the PBN blackout in 2014 when they took out all those PBN networks and everybody was freaking out, and people would put them back up and they were indexed for 3 or 4 days and then they would go back down. It's exactly what it's happening, and it's not just Google. It's actually YouTube that is doing it too.
It
Which
is, yeah.
I can deal with YouTube. I mean, with Google taking out my networks, because you know YouTube is the second most searched, and everyone has mobile phones. So I don't care if YouTube, you know, if I was ranking in YouTube, but YouTube is actually not have the videos either. They're actually de-indexing within inside YouTube, which I've never seen before.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say then. Same thing, Holly, was that a lot of the feedback has been, okay, so my video's gone from Google Web, you know, Google Videos, but it's also, even for a crazy long tail, it's disappeared out of YouTube. Something that would normally be there.
Yeah, and it's not like I'm pretty like savvy. I can find the holes really quickly. But I've been doing this for almost a week now, and I am ready to toss my fucking computer at this point, because like everything I'm trying, like I'm hitting that wall. And you know, like David says, you know, like maybe it's a dance. It's not a dance of it. I mean, but when we're working on indexing, it goes out of the Google index for 24 hours and comes back in. But it has never done that with YouTube videos, and it's never, for me at least, it hasn't ever done that inside YouTube. If it's doing inside YouTube, that's what's worrying me. Not that, you know,
Not
like
the Google.
YouTube is actually doing something. Yeah,
Sure that there's a new sheriff in town at YouTube headquarters.
yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I can't remember any time that I've ever saw it. I've saw the Google Dance. I saw videos rank #1 for 3 or 4 days and then disappear into the dust. But they've always been in YouTube. I've never had to worry about checking YouTube. I knew they were always going to show up. So
Yeah.
that is a little bit troubling. And then, you know, what are they going to do? Create a YouTube submit buttons for indexing at some point? You know, or is it going to be big brands like the organic searches now, and then those big channels that are getting and generating a lot of ad revenue for Google, they're going to get preference in YouTube, and then everyone else has to pay for views? How, you know, is that something that's perhaps down the road? That's a lot of guessing and conjecture on my part, but it makes sense to me. If I'm looking as a marketer from a pay-per-click, I need to generate ad revenue for my business. It's probably what I would do.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's interesting
I mean,
to see.
that makes sense, because that's what Google did, is that they brought in the ads, and now you have to pay to be ranked 1, 2, or 3. So since Google owns YouTube, that would be the smart thing to do, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I was reading the. You guys are gonna laugh at me, but I was reading the annual submission to the SEC from Google in 2013, and in that they said that their ad revenue for mobile was down, and then all of a sudden, 2014, 2015, 2016, Google is trying to make the web better and increase mobile exposure. You got AMP, you got mobile separated search results now coming. You have all these cards that are showing up. So I think if I'd be interested to see their annual summary now and then how it relates to adding YouTube into that. If they say that their YouTube ad revenue is not performing as much as it said they would, and then if that's the case, that would explain why they're making all these changes to YouTube right now.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good point.
Okay, so you guys got anything else on that topic? We do have one question from the audience from Wayne. Wanted to know, you guys see a pattern whether Chrome versus Firefox versus Safari, and then there's that other one?
For me, I can tell when I'm going to get de-indexed because I'll check on my computer and it'll be there. Uh, and within 2 to 3 hours, it's not on the data center, and I'll pick it up. I'll go to like google.ca, and it's not there. But then I'll go to my server, and it'll be there. So I'm like, that means I'm getting de-indexed. And it never fails. Every time it disappears off my IP, I get de-indexed in 3 days.
Wow.
Really? I use a lot. It doesn't really matter with browser, but once the video is up, either live uploaded, then I just track. It's all tracked. Just use like a ProRank tracker or PR tracker. Just track the terms and just check there. So not checking whether you use a VPN or whatever. Instead of checking the browser constantly or in a safe window, I just use a tracker. So you can just see that the balance of up or down daily from report. And just see if your linking strategy is actually affecting the videos, if it's doing any benefit with your linking strategies.
Now, your accounts and the accounts from your group, Andy, did they buy them, or were they created? Did they create them themselves on the computer? They use some kind of tool to create them?
Yeah, a bit of both. So a lot of sort of the persona accounts, just sort of PBA YouTube accounts. There's a few sort of services out there you can buy the IFTTT networks set up. But again, if you're not managing those profiles, if you're just using them to put a video up to then syndicate across without actually going into each profile, so if you've got 100 channels, you need to be managing 100 social accounts connected to that YouTube channel as well. So, to the question is that a lot of people have just bought them because it's easy to buy them, just to get that link. So upload the video to get the link. So yeah, a bit of a mix really. I do all mine manually now in house. So
yeah, I mix. If I need a bunch of them for X purpose, I'll buy them. But typically, I just make them. I make them on my own computer, and oftentimes I don't even worry about IPs and stuff, and I just flesh them out and make them look real. So.
Yeah, sure. If it's like sort of tier 3 type, accounts just to open for some links, then yeah, I suppose. But just any sort of from the channel, from the actual money channel to your first network, and do them all manually.
Right. And then David's question is, how are they finding you? What's flagging the algo? And I think, David, and for everyone else, that's really the point of this webinar, is so that we can get a bunch of people together. One, notify people that it's happening if they haven't gotten hit yet. Consider yourself lucky. And two, to hear, again, if you have not got hit yet, some of these stories that resulted in de-indexing or loss of channels, and things to look for in your own processes that may trigger whatever it is, a flag, human reviews, who knows how they're going about looking at this. So, and just based off of the data, the points that we got from Holly, some of those that she won't share with you, but there's local and affiliate data points, and both of those markets are hit. And it's not just Holly; it's a lot of people that are seeing it in the local world and the affiliate world. So, again, if you're not hit yet, good. That's good on you. You're probably doing something right. However, we can't. I think it's going to be, in the end, we'll find that it's a multitude of things: the AdSense account, the IPs, whether you're trying to hide yourself with proxies, the videos, the video times, the video method of upload, what you're putting in your description. Maybe there's a lot of things that we have to test. And Holly tests and scale, I test and scale, Andy tests and scale, and Andy's got his group that does testing as well. And having access to all those resources helps us out and figure that out more. So I think in the end, guys, I think we can definitively say we don't know the exact reason why it's happening. We know it is happening. We know they are targeting people like us that are using YouTube Live or YouTube as a link generation / lead generation platform, and it's something that we need to be a lot more mindful of in the future. final thoughts on that from you two?
Go on, Holly.
The only thing I would say is, even though you say that you weren't hit, I would actually go and check to see if the videos are indexed. Just because you haven't lost anything doesn't mean you weren't hit. You could have been de-indexed and your account's good. I mean, like I said, my account's good by 500 videos that are de-indexed. So, I mean, I'm working on trying to. I can deal with de-indexing if I can get them indexed again. That's fine. If they want to de-index me, go for it because I'll get them re-indexed. I can't deal with like across the board tons of different reasons why you're taking my accounts out. Like and then not even saying, hey, we did a big purge for accounts that were made in India or something like nonsense like that. I know people have lost accounts that were manually did it that had 5 videos on it that were in the U.S. So there's so many reasons. I think it's going to take a while to pinpoint and to actually finish the testing to see what happened. And I don't necessarily know if it's just one thing. It can't be just one thing. I think they're just they hit delete. That's what they did.
They just can't do it. Put them down. Why have they deleted our video? Well, I agree.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah, I agree totally with you there, Holly. Exactly that. There's no. I mean, I've been testing this same as you for a week solid now, and with my team as well, and just to try and find that, oh, that's it. That put your finger on it. We can, tell everyone that's. But it's just not as simple as that. There is a few factors, but exactly what we discussed in the call is whether it's live stream, duplicating videos, if the video is too short, is it backlinking? It's difficult, isn't it, to say that it's just that one thing we can correct it, move forward. Because I've got channels that are 3-year-old that are live stream videos on there that are still sitting page 1, no problem, which is great. And one of the channels had 6 videos on. So there's no time factor whether it's happened or or basically what it could be.
Interesting. And I don't know if anyone in the attendees, if you guys have any questions for us real quick on the YouTube stuff, go ahead and drop that in there. I think I've covered most of those as they came in. While we're waiting on those, I'm going to show you another thing that Google did to us that most of you probably don't even know about yet, unless you were in a couple of the groups that I posted this into. So a buddy of mine, he owns a server tool. It's called SERPworks. His name is Richard. And he turned me on to this. And basically, Google has added some requirements to your schema, but they didn't tell you about it. One is the image, and that is now required. A lot of people that I talk to were, hey, I'm just going to add my logo into it. Well, you can't do that because the logo is also a requirement in here as well. So you'll put the image in here and you skip the logo and it'll come out. What I'm noticing is, one is I'm going through and researching this to see if it's wide based on the properties, i.e. this property is local business, is probably 1 in 10 people actually have a schema on their website. So it makes it really hard to go in and compare and contrast per niches and stuff to see who needs what, especially like e-commerce. I know that they added a product image as a requirement now. Price range is a warning, but you might as well just go ahead and start adding it because they're going to put it in there and make it a requirement. I have no doubt. So this is I don't know if you guys seen this, Andy or Holly, but images are now required for schema. And almost everyone that I know that doesn't use or uses local business, I've gone through and checked like all our clients, some other people's clients for the white label stuff that we're doing. We've seen this on all of them. So even if you have a logo image, you have to have another image on top of it. It's interesting. Okay, and a question from Polly. What are the top recommendations for ranking YouTube videos in Google? Is it still embeds, default links, anchor text, PBNs, or Web 2.0s? Yes.
So like I think the top priority, honestly, is to get them indexed and stay indexed. Who cares if they rank right now? Because if it can't stay indexed, who gives a shit what kind of links you're gonna build? For me, I'm doing embeds, um, and it makes me nervous to do things like that, like the Twitter links and the pin links, because I know that those were hit with, and the Web 2.0s were, well, I mean, the webs, they come and go. So for me, I'm doing embeds on properties that either I own, Google owns, or ones that are not openly like talked about, I guess, in big groups, like no automated software. You're gonna have to build actual software to do them. Um, and like last year, one of the reasons why I left YouTube marketing in particular was because I couldn't run GSA at direct edit video because they took out that option. Well, you still can't do that. You're going to have to run it through a 301. So you run GSA up through 301, probably another 301, and down to the YouTube video. You could do things with unlisted videos. Polly, I was thinking about making one video and trying to rank it for a couple hundred terms like I did in 2013, but you're going to have issues with the anchor link because it's not 2013, it's 2016. So for me, I've stopped. I've had to step back and stop all YouTube production until at least I can get them indexed and keep indexed for over 5 days would be nice.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Same again, Holly. Is on that is definitely down to making sure it's indexed, and if anything, that the on page stuff is if you've done everything on page, correctly, then you know that you've done everything. And if it's not indexing without a link or without doing whether it's streamed upload, the good description, the optimized the thumbnail, the video, the usual stuff. Once that's done, then you can look at the strategy as long as it stays indexed. That's why.
Yeah, I'm with Holly too. If it isn't indexed and you can't get it to stay there, really the rest of it's kind of mute, and you're just wasting your effort. I like Steve
sorry.
made a good comment. He had one channel, 100% unique, fleshed out, gone. Sister channels for other cities, they're all essentially the same. Based on what he's reading, what I'm reading here is they're all the same and they stayed. So I guess, like Holly said, if it's not indexed, you can't get it to stay, at least in YouTube, then there's no sense of even bothering to worry about in promoting it or embedding it or whatever you're going to do for link building.
Holly, have you tested actually just back on what you said about the keyword, the keyword itself it used to be, well, back in the day, it could get found for many different terms. Even when you're tracking it, you could find a keyword across the board, couldn't you? Some of the testing I've done over the sort of past week, a lot of the keywords have lost that as well. Even up until a week ago, you'd still get found for many terms, but now it's actually to the exact keyword. So I don't know whether there's a bit of a change there that you've noticed as well, but I have.
Yeah, and it's just been so weird that I think that it's okay because it's been up there for 3 days and then it's gone, and I'm like, but I didn't even run a link to the damn video yet. I haven't run any embeds to my videos the whole entire year, the whole 2016. I didn't have to, because they ranked right away. And then as time was going on, I was noticing de-indexing, but I was like, oh, that's just normal, it is normal for stuff to get de-indexed, but not 180,000 videos and not just one account with 5 videos. I'm going to try it. I might send it at, I may decide to do some unlisted. I was thinking maybe I would try to rank another property and do some kind of Java over to the YouTube video to see if it gets like views on it, if that's one of the trigger of getting it indexed again. I don't know if that's a big thing because people are going to be buying views, and back in the day, we've never had to buy views. So I can't believe that they would just be like, okay, now views matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, watch time as well, isn't it? You know, down to sort of a view and watch time. Is it triggering for a certain point on a watch time anymore? Or,
Yeah, I think, I was looking back at my channels that I lost. So there was two networks that stayed alive. It was a Christmas network, and it was my IVC filter network for particularly Alaska. And Alaska, I say because that's one of my case studies that a lot of people have looked at. And my Alaska network has been fine because people, I think, in my opinion, it actually has legitimate views. And so does my Christmas network. Granted, there's only 7 freaking states in this network that stayed, but
mm,
they actually have a decent amount of watch time. So I don't know if it's views versus watch time.
yeah,
It may be.
yeah, and like
Like,
a timing factor on it, maybe.
yeah, I mean, that it kind of makes sense because um, if you have that many thousands, I mean, if you think about we're spamming, who in the right mind is spamming YouTube every 1 to 5 minutes across the board on channels about like maids and carpet cleaning? Nobody's doing it but me. And it's
Yeah,
obvious I'm spamming them. So, but if they actually have a view on watch time over a month's time, maybe they'll say indexed, but then that means I have to rank another property to send the traffic to YouTube video because
yeah,
they won't stay indexed. So you're going back to indexing. You're
mm,
not. It's all about for me. It's all about the indexing. If I can't keep an S3 index, if I can't keep um, stupid WordPress pages indexed because they get de-indexed so damn quickly, I mean, I thought about doing ads to send to my videos
yeah.
to get traffic on them.
Yeah, again, like you say, it all comes back down to to keeping it indexed. Once it's indexed and you can keep it there, then the rest really, you can put together. The hard bit is with the changes, especially, is to keep that video indexed. Again, with pages as well,
Yeah.
for sure.
I mean, that's what I'm going to be testing is the view time. Because I feel the view time matters more than it has in the past.
Yeah,
But, um, I'll know when, like I got those 10 re-indexed last night. So if it goes past 4 days, then I think that I'm okay. But if it can't get past that 4th day for indexing, and I have to continually re-index the videos, it's really wasting my time.
yeah,
And there's
sure,
other things that I can do, like ads, to try to figure out why they're de-indexing at least.
definitely, definitely. I think it'd be worth going forward though, with over the next sort of 2 weeks, 3 weeks. He's putting all this together, and again with your testing, Holly, and my testing with the team is just to try and piece again a pattern. I know there's a few polls around, but if we can sort of put it all in one place, and if we can see that pattern, it might tick some more boxes if that
Yeah, and
works.
I'm talking to Jason Potash too, and he's got was it V Targeter is the name of that one, and that was one of the beginning products that started that whole YouTube poking theory.
Yeah,
Um, thinking about it, he teaches his people, and his people on average aren't losing channels, but he teaches his people to make the poking video and then delete it right away after he knows that they know it's going to work. So, with the increase of that whole poking technique and the software that are doing it too, that might explain the 3-day drop. They're testing you to see if you're actually paying attention to your channel. Um, and this is pure conjecture on my part, but they're testing you to see if it's you're watching your channel, and then if you go back and re-index it. And I'm hoping because you already went and did this process with those 10 videos, is the second time you get it indexed, it stays. So that'd be interesting to see how those turn out with those videos.
yeah, for sure. That's an interesting way. I mean, you can do that even without the software. You can do a manual poke, can't you, with like something like Wirecast, or poke some thumbnails to
Well, yeah,
delete.
like Steve said too, you can use that editor in there and use Creative Commons and edit a
Yeah,
video. Um,
sure, yeah. That's
yeah.
that's an interesting point. it's definitely again worth a test to see.
You know what else is really super interesting, and I did it because the guy at SEO Rockstars was talking about it. I put 10 videos in an email to another Gmail. Guess what they did? They got indexed.
Yeah.
So yeah, I totally would. I've always been like, oh my god, people are way too paranoid about that kind of shit. And so then I was like, because he was talking, and I was like, that's bullshit. So then I tested it, and I was like, damn it, he's right, and they got indexed.
Ah.
See, I think the issue there, and this is me like thinking kind of weird, but if Google is actually doing that and that's going to be consistent, like if you can consistently index your videos over and over again by sending an email, and Google just opened themselves up for a lawsuit. So if anyone wants to help me get in on a class action, then we can knock that out and make a couple.
Yeah.
Like seriously, I would to keep them indexed to email every single day, like thousands of videos. I mean, I would do it if I had to do it, but I don't. I don't want to do it. If I have to put them up and go by each state and just work on indexing that state, it's gonna put me behind on a lot of shit. But if they stay indexed, it's worth it. That's fine. But
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy. I was so depressed, dude. I was so depressed. I could not get out of bed the next day because I lost so many. I didn't have any phone calls. Like for someone like me who has a very high overhead with server costs, and I wasn't getting any calls for 3 hours, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I looked and I was like, I literally started crying because I didn't know what else to do. Because I was like, oh my god, I promised myself that nobody would be able to take me out again. And it literally, they did. And I was like, didn't see it coming.
Same with one of my clients was like, hey, where's that video gone? I've checked and it's disappeared. And I spent like 20 hours solid tearing my hair out trying to find out why last week. And it's just, yeah, ongoing.
Well, I learned from the Hangout purge, always save your videos because at one point in time you're going to need them again somewhere.
Yeah. Luckily I have.
Luckily I have. For Ollie is
Yeah.
invest that much time, money, and effort into something and then have it kind of disappear. Obviously, sometimes when you're playing a game you're going to get caught, but damn,
Sure.
doesn't make it any less painful.
No, for sure. Doing the work twice. No.
So I think as a final thing, just Andy and Holly, and I'll give my recommendations as well, is kind of going forward from here. Like, obviously we've kind of beat the indexing thing to death. No matter how you upload and what account you use and stuff, it's not indexing. It doesn't matter. But what would your safe recommendations be? Mine is you can still use YouTube Live. However, flesh out your descriptions, do your everything like a normal creator would do. Probably not go to scale on the same channel, targeting 50 different communities within your city with the same kind of video, that kind of thing. Just being smart about it, in my opinion, will go a long way. Andy?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think with everything that's happened is depending on your channel. If it's your main channel, your money channel, I'd go really steady with that. If it is something you've been live streaming to or going mad with, and just look at your other channels and just basically whatever you did before, just make sure that everything on page is correct. So everything's optimized. It is good content that you're putting out. As in, even if it is a video of a couple of minutes, even a minute video, but changing if you're putting that same video and duplicating it or spinning it or whatever, it's just making sure that you change that buffer so you don't leave that footprint of the time scales. Basically, just getting everything on the page the best you can. Your description, everything to the channel, whether it's the artwork, the thumbnail, the about, your Google Plus that's attached, that's all relevant. Any Google properties that are with that account, all relevant. And again, back down to getting it indexed. Once you've done all that and it doesn't index, you really can't do any more. If it's not going to index and you've done all the right things on page, it's just aiming to get it indexed and then look at your further strategies from there.
Mm. And Holly, closing thoughts.
Closing thought is that YouTube is stupid right now, but that's a nice way to say it. For me, obviously, my first test, which completed in 5 days, the indexing. The second test was the embeds. If I can just do embeds to keep them indexed, and then maybe the third, fourth is sending paid YouTube ads to an actual video that's not indexed to see if the watch time matters. Because I think I don't think views matters. I think watch time is significant in the sense of the ones that the very small networks that have stayed alive have watch time on them.
Watch time.
Yeah, sure, definitely, yeah.
And I'm going to test. For me, I'll be testing actually having more viewers on the live stream because you guys know I do that weekly SEO this week. So I'll actually have viewers watching the live stream as that goes out on top of the natural views that it gets after that too. So we'll see how that works out, if that helps.
Awesome.
Even mine are 15, 20 minutes long. I get real natural views to them, and I index them, go back the next day, and I got to re-index the damn thing. So it's interesting.
For sure.
All right. Well, everyone, thank you very much for coming. I appreciate it, and on behalf of Andy and Holly, I do thank you for your time. I hope that we provided you with some insight, didn't scare you, but gave you some good information to move ahead. And we'll send the recording out after I get everything all taken care of. All right. Bye, guys.
Awesome. Cheers, Clint. Thank you. See you later, Ollie.
Toodaloo, guys.